Hello, everybody. I'm seriously contemplating as I'm sitting here doing, doing this for YouTube, doing a long full reading for this. If there's any time to do it, I'll tell you, this is the time. This full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. My energy. I can be much more mellow if I know I can do a normal timed reading. I'm much more of a YouTube person, let's be honest too. That's probably more, it's always probably more where I've been meant to post because I'm very long-winded messages, but whatever. It's just a different platform. I've never taken it so seriously that I've invested in my YouTube channel. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Although I will say that I feel with this moon that there is this very practical energy, very practical, I feel myself really explaining things in detailed ways. So I feel like in the next couple days, the rest of this week. So today is Monday. It's Monday afternoon. But and the full moon lunar eclipse will be early tomorrow morning, early Tuesday morning. And you and your loved ones are safe. I want to point out there's a ton of blue. Let me show you the cards that I picked. See how blue they are? They're super blue. So there's a lot of blue. So I feel like what I felt initially was that some people might be feeling blue, feeling sad with this full moon. Scorpio season is bringing about some sadness. You're feeling blue, you know? And then, also I want to finish my thought because I feel incomplete, but whatever. No. I don't really want to finish that thought. Never mind. It'll come up later, but, people feeling blue, and with that sadness, some root chakra healing. It's deep. I was just messaging with Chrissy. I feel like this healing through the Scorpio season, I've never felt so affected by a season. I swear. I really feel so deep in this season. And, but it's on a molecular level. It's changing us on a fundamental level. It's like I was saying the other day, your foundation is alchemizing. Your foundation is alchemizing, and that is uncomfortable, and that's root chakra energy too. It's potentially homes where you live, jobs, things like that, or it could be relationships in terms of your foundation changing, but also your physical body is a big part of your foundation, and there's something changing about our physical bodies. I know that sounds extreme or conspiracy theory stuff, but I really feel that. That it's we are changing on a cellular, molecular level right now. When we talk about death, rebirth, regeneration, this is it. We are in it. We are in a deep time of transformation. I just heard we've never seen before. So, and what I was going to say before is I think it's good for me to do longer videos because I feel like I'm holding myself back or not giving my gift or my chance or myself the opportunity to really thrive in the way that is meant for me. And I think that that's not a coincidence that I'm doing that right now and realizing that myself, and for you, that it's time to stop. And I don't want to say it's time to stop holding yourself back as if what you've been doing has been wrong. It's not, but you're ready for the next phase now. You're ready to stop holding back as much. You haven't given yourself potentially the opportunity to allow what I'm feeling was your real spiritual gifts. We are all intuitive beings. And however you're meant to use your spiritual gifts in your work field, on your path, with your family, with your friends, with your people, the term community, but just people around you, you are gifted. You have great purpose. And there's something about this lunar eclipse that is allowing you to step into your purpose in a new way, more confidence. You are regaining memory It's about, I think 2022 has been about remembering past life gifts and skills. You're regaining it. You know, I shared the intuition that people, and this could be with the whole root thing. Like I was saying, you're changing on a cellular molecular level. And when I say that, I mean like in you, you know, but also the cellular molecular level coming in through your crown, coming in through the codes, through the light beings right now, through the light codes. They're part of what shifts you and changes you. And they're bringing in memory and information you have not perhaps had access to before. And then your DNA shifting within matches. I know, imagine like a physicist listening to me, they'd be like, whoa, but you get it. The human being is upgrading. The human being is upgrading. And I was going to do a long-winded written post, and I still could later, I suppose. But lots of thoughts. So much energy with this full moon. So now I forgot what I was saying a moment ago. I was talking about you coming into your purpose, because I'm reminded of another intense download I got. The human being is upgrading. So I was trying to say your DNA codes, what's coming in is changing you. Oh yeah, memories. I want to just finish the thought that you're reaching a point in your life that matches a point in a past life, even if it's just the age. Say it's the age, where once you get to a certain age, you regain gifts from a past life, perhaps that you got at that age, or something it parallels, and now you can take that, or you have it, you integrate a new gift or a memory, and you you regain it, and you have it now to go forth into this next whatever it is. It's obviously probably necessary for you to step into your purpose, your further growth. And so that is happening, picking up gifts from past lives. I feel like that's something that's happened throughout 2022. I feel like this memory coming in, and it's changed you. But the thought I wanted to share, the deeper download, was from the show Cabinet of Curiosities, which I realized more myself too, how beautifully for me music and film weave through my intuition, and for everybody, it's a part of this beautiful collective unconscious. And there's such magic in film and music, and the lines on which it draws upon and sings upon are a reflection of the heart, are a reflection of the divine. But this line this guy said in this show, and it really spoke to me. You know, I was talking the other day about being an addictive personality too, but he said he feels like there's a black hole in him. And I felt that. I need a sip. And he says no matter how much he feeds it, no matter how much it gives this black hole, it wants more. You know, it's thirsty, it's hungry, it wants things, it wants love, it wants pleasure, desire, it needs to be taken care of. And we all have the black hole in us. And then what I was realizing is I was further thinking about this nature of this in us. What is this in us, this gaping hole in us that seeks? It's hungry. It's kind of dark. It's the dark side of us. But what it is that human beings are inherently a black hole. You are a black hole because this vessel requires so much. It's like an animal. It's like a pet, like your body, back to the root. You have to feed it. It requires food. It requires water. It requires shelter. So on a basic level, all of those things need to be met in order for this to survive. And that is quite a struggle. It is a struggle to get all of those needs met. We don't acknowledge it as much as much of a struggle as it once was, perhaps, because we are born into modern societies. We have usually enough funds, money to allow ourselves to have food, water, shelter. Not everybody on this planet, of course, don't get me wrong, but that basic human stuff is in us. In order to be here, in order to survive, the human being needs a lot. You require energy. You suck up energy just by being here. You literally are a black hole. The human being is a black hole. And it's not to be mean to the human being, but that's literally what it is. You're a three-dimensional energy vacuum, you know? And so, but as the human being, like I was saying, the human being is upgrading and evolving. It's almost like the black hole starts to close up. You know, because the human being comes back to spirit. It's coming back to source. It's remembering, as I said days ago, you can only forget for so long. So once you realize, because the pain of being a black hole is immense, right? You're hungry, you're thirsty, you're the black hole. Like, you need to be filled up all the time with shit in order to feel okay. And that's such an uncomfortable, awful, scary, frightening feeling. Because if you can't get the black hole's needs met, you're like, it's fucked, you know? And you will kill people, you will do what you have to do to get food, to get water, and that is not a place a spirit, a high dimensional spirit wants to be. That's not your true nature. But it's what you're a parasite. You decide, you agree to be parasitic. Human beings are parasitic, you know, by nature. Anything on this planet is kind of parasitic. It's the vibration of it, if this makes sense. So, being a black hole is really uncomfortable. And so what happens is then the spirit starts to remember, I'm not a black hole. This is. But then the spirit's even like, I can upgrade this. The spirit's like, I can take care of this. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not getting too crazy here, but it's like, I don't need food. It's like, I don't need water. You do still, but you know what I mean? I guess the better way of saying to start it is, I don't need a validation. I don't need outside things to fill my black hole to make me feel okay. I just need to remember who I am. And I start to feed myself. You are the key. The key is in you. And once you realize you are the key, you realize you're not waiting for anything. You're not waiting for your next meal. You're not waiting for water. This sounds extreme, but hopefully you guys get what I'm saying. You're not waiting anymore to be filled up. You're not waiting anymore to be fulfilled. You have the source, like the holy elixir is right here at your fingertips, and it's in you. That's all you need to make that feeling go away of pain, of hunger, of emptiness. That is what being a human being feels like inherently, just because of your nature, of the structure of this universe. And that is not the nature of the spirit. It couldn't be further really from the true nature of your spiritual being. But that's why they put this spiritual being in the physical body to heal this gap. It's about bridging the gap. And bridging the gap is remembering who you are, and you fill the hole yourself. I want to keep going because I don't want to get too long-winded. I want to make sure I don't lose my trains of thought too much. So I want to just make a couple associations as well with you being the key and a Taurus. This full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is always shown with keys, usually some type of keys. And Taurus is connected to the Hierophant. We are also entering or getting close to 1111, which is the Four of Wands energy. The Hierophant and the Four of Wands speaks to, in terms of relationships, commitment, marriage, like strong foundation, long-term relationship. But also, how about if we think about it within oneself? You're bridging that gap with this 1111, with this lunar eclipse. You've come closer to remembering who you are. You've come closer to bridging the gap. You've shrunk the black hole within yourself, and it no longer needs to be fed by outside sources. And the more you shrink your black hole, the more you vibrate, you're magnetic, you'll start to glow. People are more drawn to you because you are using your own source of energy, your own magic elixir. You're not seeking out, you're getting it from yourself, and you beam out then. So that's why I say you are the key. So it's about this. Also, the Hierophant is this high spiritual understanding. To me, the High Priestess is like navigating through the dark and the intuition, you know what I mean? And it's unknown. The Hierophant is when the shit is known. You're like, I have fucking been in the High Priestess realm of unknown for a long time, and now I see this. I'm beginning to understand this. I am in the light of day. I am bringing my spiritual knowledge to a higher level of understanding, perhaps education, perhaps teaching other people. It's a higher level of understanding what you've been working on in the dark, so to speak. And the Hierophant is about that. The Hierophant is also about, oh yeah, I'm hearing this message I was getting about 5 to 6. It's just been coming up a lot, whether it's the 5 swords, 6 swords, 5 wands to 6 of wands, and we are in a 6th year. And 2021 was really a hard year, which was the 5 year. And the Hierophant is a divine masculine. The Hierophant is masculine energy at its peak prime spiritual understanding. And I just think the last year and two, or 2021 and 2022, have been quite challenging in terms of healing masculine energy, whether in men in your lives or your masculine energy within yourself, which can sometimes be hard to know which is which, but both are happening at the same time. And I think that there is a mighty reward abound or coming perhaps in 2023 with the amount of healing that has been done, because the 6 is the healing, the 6 is the victory, and we're in the 6 now. We're really getting to this point of seeing the work we've done. We're realizing it's not for nothing, it's not fruitless. Like, work has been done, and we are headed to a better, brighter day, and that is happening. And then the other association perhaps with the better, brighter day, as I say that because it's like sunlight perhaps, is with this being the fixed cross wants to remind us of Leo, of the Lion's Gate, of your strength. The fixed signs, I feel like the fixed signs they're the tightest, like of all they're the tightest. The fixed signs love each other the most. So the Taurus and Scorpio energy right now, it's also bringing in Leo and Aquarius, but I feel Leo, this strength, this intense, fiery strength that you have built, that you're feeling within you. And again, I'm saying the strength comes when you shrink the black hole. It's again, you feeding yourself with light. You're feeding yourself with the nectar of light and God. I know it sounds totally crazy. You get it though, right? I know. Feeding yourself with your own strength, your own inner fire. It's really beautiful and powerful, and it's fixing it. This is getting fixed. And so, yeah, just thinking about, associations, all of these associations that come up. That's really kind of how I read energy to an extent, is like, it's always these associations. It's like this thing leads to this thing, and then you see that thing and that thing and that thing and that thing and that thing, So the Hierophant, I realized last night, in the key with Taurus and things like that. So now I'm going to pull these cards. I do have 9 cards here. So let's see what's coming out. But we talked about the root chakra, healing on a cellular, molecular level. And then with all this blue here, I think someone feeling blue, people feeling sad this time of year, things coming to roost, things finally coming up to the surface, the truth finally coming up, the truth finally being revealed about things. And it might make you kind of sad at first. But also with all this blue here, I feel like this communication, really wanting to communicate, really wanting to express oneself, but perhaps being held back by the primal fear of the root chakra. The root is holding back the throat, really wanting to express yourself, really wanting to express oneself is all I can say here. So let's just see, all of that aside, 18 minutes of messages already for this full moon lunar eclipse. Let's see what's coming out. The Knight of Swords, drama. I don't know what he's up to, this Knight of Swords. Is this a big full moon behind him, I wonder? Or is it another planet, by the way? I think it's a moon, right? Yeah, I think it's the moon. There's a big full moon behind him. Well, his emotions are definitely heightened. His emotions are definitely heightened. You know what I'm feeling is that, a lot of men, or not just men, but sometimes people, they like to say they think that intense feelings or heightened emotions, if you will, they like to push those aside and say it's like drama. Like, oh, that's dramatic. Like, oh, she's just being dramatic. You know what it is? It's kind of like, oh, I'm just going to leave her for a while and then I'll come back when she's like cooled down. That kind of thing. Like, oh, that's just drama. Feelings and emotions aren't just drama, but I will tell you what, if you repress feelings and emotions, they come up as drama because they will find a way in. And if you're not able to consciously process your feelings and emotions in a way that does not seem dramatic, but is just authentic and trying to work through things, if you're not able to do that, it's going to seem dramatic. I kind of lost my train there. But if you're not able to really face it in a higher way, it is like drama. I mean, we all have feelings and emotions. No one is free of this low vibrational stuff This is what I'm talking about. Is you are a black hole, bitch. Like, we all have this low vibrational thirst, hunger issues we are dealing with here, emptiness. And so all we can do, though, is honor it in the moment, give our feelings, give our emotions the best voice that we can, and move forward. But, you know, people like in my life have thought of me as being perhaps dramatic because I want to give a voice to it. Now, there's an argument sometimes, as I've said recently, you don't always need to give a voice to all of these things. It's important to, as keeping with this message today, to go within, to heal yourself within. However, you are still allowed to voice your truth and emotions, you know, and it's not just drama. And sometimes people avoid getting the answers they want or need because they're afraid of the emotional terrain or landscape they might have to go through to get it. You know, that stuff's fun. That's just life. That stuff's fun. But the Knight of Swords wants to harshly communicate very quickly, very harshly. And I just want to say, it's not, you can't always do that. You can't avoid the messiness of life. You cannot avoid it. You can't just cut through it always. You can't just always cut through the bullshit or what you think is bullshit, because if it means something to someone else, it's not bullshit, you know? Or it is, or if it's someone you care about, you have to kind of honor it. So I think that's hype, but what's coming to roost is, I think that this type of harsh communication is just not working anymore, but things are coming up anyway. There's like emotions or things surfacing about it, and it's, I think, causing a little bit of frustration and annoyance, almost like, why? It shouldn't have to be like this. Fertility, it's a fertile time. I'll tell you, it's a fertile time, and I think there's frustration. If you can't get to the things you want right now, it's kind of frustrating. You may feel like you're missing out on things, you know, but you're not. I mean, whatever you're experiencing is what you're meant to be experiencing. And if you aren't at a point where you can fully express yourself or connect in ways that get you to the things you want, then you're not there yet. And that's okay. You know, be kind to yourself wherever you are on your journey, because whatever you're experiencing is what you're meant to be. But it's very fertile. It's a very fertile time. So let's read this. The frequency of fertility invites us to be more open. See, more open, more courageous, more creative, and more joyful than we were before. It activates the potential for something beautiful to grow from our consciousness into a new and grander, sorry, I can't talk today, a new and grander expression of ourselves. I really love that for this Knight of Swords. I was not expecting that description to hit me in such a way for him, but wow, it has. It activates the potential for something beautiful to grow from our consciousness into a new and grander expression of ourselves. If you hold back these things, if you cut out or choose not to engage with parts of life because you think they're heavy or whatever, you are keeping yourself from growing, basically, from growing, from expanding. And there's an opportunity for that right now. There's a great opportunity for consciousness expansion, for growth in the crown, and just growth in general. It's very fertile ground right now. Like, I keep seeing the deep, rich, wet soil. It's very fertile ground. So it's a good opportunity for people to open up, because there's a richness, you know, to be experienced, to be had. Full moon, bitch. Surrender to the divine. Look at this motherfucker with this full moon. I'm sorry. Behind him. Surrender to the divine, honey. I know. I laugh at my own jokes. I know. Surrender to the divine. This Knight of Swords is getting ready to do that, or he's being asked to do it, or not. But that's what's being pushed. Like I said, right now, I think with this particular cycle, it is hard to, some of the stuff that's been like pushed down or kept out, it is like rearing its head. It is coming to roost. I keep hearing that term, coming to roost. I don't know. I don't know. Surrender to the divine. But on a not so like whatever funny, quirky sense of me and this channeling here, also for all of us too, all of those shadow things that we have been keeping at bay or like hiding, it is a fertile time for you to let it rise up. You surrender to this full moon, surrender to the divine right now, because it wants to do its work on you. And there's going to be a tremendous opportunity for growth. And I think if you have felt like things in your life have felt like a lot of drama or just like bullshit sometimes or superficial, and you want richer, deeper meaning, better communication, better relationships, surrender. Surrender to the shadowy stuff coming up for you. Surrender to the richness of your own soul. And in that, you're surrendering to the divine, this energy that is abound right now. Let's just keep going. The Fool, change. Wow. And does that not look like an eclipse? That looks like an eclipse. Doesn't it kind of? Because it looks dark, but there's rays coming out of it. Change, the Fool, big leap of faith coming, big change, 0 point, big change. This is a season of big change because, like I said, this like changing us on the molecular, this death energy, the Scorpio energy is, I wish I could like tell it, like share the thoughts with you as they come to me rather than having to use this throat chakra. It's so slow and stuttery. This death energy that Scorpio is doing its work, this transformational energy, this is what it is leading to. The ultimate new beginning, the 0 point, the change. And if that does not look like a lunar eclipse, I don't know, or some type of eclipse. Where the sun meets the moon, right? That's what the eclipses are, where the sun meets the moon. And that's another energy of this divine union happening right now as we also approach the 11/11, the eclipse. It's where the sun meets the moon. The tantric journey. Oh my gosh, of course. The tantric journey is out. The frequency of tantric journey helps us to unlock the hidden knowledge and wisdom that we intrinsically hold about how to reach a state of wholeness and completion through our sensual experiences with ourselves and with another. The tantric journey is a powerful card. It's absolutely beautiful. It means a lot to me in a way too. This is embarking on a new beginning, and the tantric journey came out when I was speaking of union, where the sun meets the moon, 11/11, and the tantric journey is that. It's masculine and feminine together as one, body to body, completely connected. That is the tantric journey. Breathing in synchrony, in tandem, reaching a state of wholeness. So there is some type of union coming together. Absolutely. Expect powerful change. The reason I'm like, is because, well, it's a new moon eclipse card. Of course, this is a full moon eclipse, but there was a new moon eclipse, and we've all been on one since the new moon eclipse in Scorpio. And this does not look exactly like that moon. That's what I'm saying. It looks the same. It looks like an eclipse. But see, this looks like a new moon eclipse is what it looks like, I guess. But whatever. That is an eclipse. And it says, expect powerful change. And the Fool says, change. 0 point. Expect powerful change with the tantric journey. I'm done. I don't even want to pull the other 3 cards. I don't even want to pull the other 3 cards. I was about to say, this is an orgasm on another level right here, bitch. This is some shit you have not experienced before. That is, whew, I'm gonna have a sip. I'm parched. That is something. And the Knight of Wands. And it says immaturity. Immaturity. Absolutely. Because you can't really have this with immaturity. To be honest, you can't. This is high vibe shit. The Knight of Wands is not always that. But he has a sense for it. But there's some immaturity. This is really interesting. The 2 Knights, it says drama and immaturity. Which I have to say, with this full moon being in Taurus, which I was saying is the Hierophant, is divine masculine energy. I feel like this is saying that some masculines are not totally exhibiting that, or they haven't been. Maybe there's something that's going to change. Maybe something's going to change, because this is not the Hierophant. This is not the Hierophant. This is all I can tell you, is these 2, drama and immaturity. And we got the full moon in the Hierophant? I don't think so. I don't think so. So I don't know. Something's got to change, right? Something's got to change. Authority. That's what I'm saying. No. That's a no to that. I don't know why that's coming out in that way. I do feel that some people are not going to change. That is not going to change in some people, but the opportunity here is, there's an opportunity here for it, but we'll see. The frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. It is a number 10, I will say, and the wheel has been coming out constantly for this energy, this full moon. And it makes me think that with the wheel too, is that destiny has a heavy hand. Destiny has a heavy hand because destiny is asking people to change. If they want to embark on this new beginning, this new thing, or they want to start leveling up their energetic field, they have to change. It's authoritative. It is authoritative, which you don't always think of destiny or fate or karma as being authoritative, but it's like, if you want to play your part, if you want to experience those things, you have to change, you know? And if not, then you're not meant to. But there's this like TikTok that's kind of intense. It's kind of strict. Wow, be bold and make the first move. The cardinal moon. Someone is contemplating that. Be bold and make the first move. Be bold and make the first move. Maybe it's realizing that. Someone's realizing they have to act. You know, like they have to act. That the time is here. There's just an intense, like, a whip. Like, you got, like, a change. And I don't just mean that to, like, masculine energy out there, like I was saying these nights. I mean it to me, too. Like, this energy of this last 2 weeks, this Scorpio season and this moon is that. It is that of, like, the Four of Pentacles, that control. And that's what needs to change. Like, this needs to change. Quit trying to control through your heart space. Like, stop. Just stop trying to control through your heart space. Something needs to change. And maybe there is just like a quick catalyst. That's like, boom, be bold and make the first move because it's time. It has to happen. More of the same. I just have to say, more heart healing. Intense heart chakra. I know I mentioned all the chakras, but I want to say the sentence or the way in which I'm mentioning them, I feel like is specific and important. So sometimes it sounds like I'm saying the same things or it's repetitive, and it is in a way, but it is also specific. So I've talked a lot about your sacral chakra with this moon as connected to Taurus. And I've been speaking a bit about your crown chakra with this because there's a lot of intuitive hits, a lot of downloads coming in. And I was speaking a bit about your throat chakra, but also the heart. The heart is always coming up because the heart is what we're ultimately healing on this planet. But there's recuperation, control and recuperation. So some recuperation coming up after all of this. It's just more heart healing. And the Page of Wands is out, which just feels like the same kind of energy. Resilience. You are resilient. I feel like, again, with the strength, you're going to see just how resilient you actually are. You know, which you don't want that necessarily, but you are extremely strong and resilient. And I think sometimes you just have to be reminded of your resilience so that you do know that you can get through anything, because it really helps with the fear. It helps with fear. It helps with control. When you know how resilient you are, how inventive you are, that you can get through anything, you know that you don't have to be afraid anymore. That's part of the heart healing. So I'm just going to pull a couple more cards here. And I'm curious if you guys like the YouTube reading. Let me know if you like the longer reading, if you like shorter readings. It doesn't really matter, I guess. But please do subscribe to this YouTube channel. A miracle is on the way. A miracle, number 33. And it's 333 on the time. 33333. Please do subscribe to the YouTube and maybe comment if you don't mind, if you could like or comment so I could try to get some activity, because I really feel I need to start doing just 15 to 30 minute videos, you know, rather than the stupid Instagram stuff. And Instagram encourages you to do reels. Like they are like, create a reel. Don't you want to create a reel? I'm like, I kind of do. I kind of don't. Like, I mostly just want to share messages to the extent that the message is fully shared, that I get all the information out I want to share. But I also know people have short attention spans. So I could sit here for 3 hours and no one's going to watch that. 30 or 40 minutes, I think people will watch it, you know, and it's more about me connecting with those of you that are truly listening and trying to get through this like I am and understand. So, and I think for those of you that watch the short videos that watch longer, but anyway, Instagram is always pushing the short stuff, and that's just not my style. It's never been my style. I just try to put myself on there because it's the best avenue for me that fits with me to get anything out there at all, you know. Miracle. The frequency of miracle supports our belief in ourselves as a part of source, and therefore our belief that anything is possible. Anything is possible, you guys. And that's why I think me talking about my dreams and purpose, I know sometimes it's boring, but you have to ask for support from people watching. You have to ask for support. And I should also ask for you guys to share me with your friends or anyone you think might listen or be interested, or I might help as well. That you too, so you have to ask for help is what I'm doing, but I feel myself entering a new part of my life with my purpose, I hope. And this says anything is possible, miracles, believe, if you believe, that you too are entering, I feel like, a new phase with your purpose, perhaps. Oh, a win-win outcome is forecast. A win-win outcome is forecast in love, perhaps, with that. And emotions are running high. It's a really intense energy, you guys. So be kind to yourselves and others. I think that's the best medicine for over the next 24 to 48 hours is to really, really be kind to yourself. I think reflect on your life story, your path. I think visions will come to you, memories, intuitions, if you're open to it, to remind you of places you've been, things you've done that have changed you, that have brought you to this point, that, you know, that have really made you a better person, or just shaped you, shifted you, molded you to be who you are. And I was looking for this just to end, which speaks to what I was saying about me trying to make plans, different plans to do videos and stuff like that, is that your dreams need a practical plan. Your dreams need a practical plan, which is what this full moon, why it might be a little bit uncomfortable or challenging, is trying to show us, because there's this feeling of the miraculous. Miracles are happening. Anything is possible. It is true. But at the same time, you are co-creating with the universe. You have to do stuff. You have to take action. You have to make steps. You have to make decisions. You have to communicate. You have to make moves. You have to do things in order to make those miracles happen, whether in love or in purpose. You have to make moves. So the final message with this full moon is your dreams need a practical plan, because they do. They always do. But that is all for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the lunar eclipse. There's a lot of energy here, really beautiful energy. So I hope this meant something to you. Please let me know. And like I said, please like or comment if you don't mind. See if I can kind of get this YouTube going and see what we can do. All right. I love you all. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I can't thank you enough. See you tomorrow.